Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Teleislas News, the most important news of the day. At this time, there is a blockade in the barrack sector in which members of the community ask for a timely supply of drinking water.
The inhabitants of the sector stated that they have been without the precious liquid for more than a month and that this time they expect a lasting solution to the problem of the lack of water supply.
Estamos bloqueando porque hace más o menos 40.
We are blocking because we have not received water for more or less 40 days. 18 days ago, for approximately 2 hours, they supplied us with water, for which we were able to collect what we could, and once again, we are in this unfortunate situation. Since yesterday, we have been calling 123, which is the emergency number, where we warned that if they did not supply us with the water today, we were going to make a blockade because it is the only means of protest we have, and it is the only one that has worked. In that way, we can meet with the entities in charge and those responsible for this shortage of water, because to date, we do not know who they are. In short, we do not know anything.
The community stated that today much has been said about why they do not have a timely supply of the liquid. Therefore, they asked for the explanation of this issue.
Queremos saber qué es lo que está pasando porque
We want an explanation. We want to know what is going on. We want them to come and tell us what is their intention and reasoning. What we really want is water, and we want it through the faucet.
The community stated that they will not lift the blockade until they have a timely solution. Teleislas News will be attentive to the development of this news.
And 20 high-flow oxygen concentrators arrived to the department to address the current hospital crisis by COVID-19. Here is the note.
During this weekend, 20 oxygen concentrators arrived in the department of San Andres. The supply of these medical equipment were delivered to the hospital on the island on loan by the mayor of the city of Barranquilla, Jaime Pumarejo. With these elements, the local government seeks to combat the current hospital crisis that records a high occupancy in the intensive care unit. Today, there are 17 beds that have oxygen. Another percentage of COVID patients are installed in other areas of the hospital because they do not need oxygen. It is noteworthy that today, neither the governor nor the Secretary of Health nor the management of the social state enterprise have made any statement regarding the installation of these oxygen concentrations. This new agency opens its microphones to the corresponding officials to know how this issue is progressing on the island.
And triage breathing treatment tents for people with symptomatology for COVID-19 are now available. People in this type of situation are being treated outside the departmental hospital facilities.
Hello Lisa and viewers, good afternoon. I am here in the outside of the departmental hospital facilities in the area of urgency. We're here behind me, you can see the tents, the triage respiratory is what they call it here in the hospital, tents for people that have symptoms of COVID-19. People who present the symptoms are coming to the hospital because you know that the COVID cases has increased. So to not tend to them in the departmental hospital, then they tend to them in them here tents outside. The first tent you can see here, they accumulate like 5 persons who have symptoms of COVID-19 to take up the data and what is the symptoms they present, and if there are maybe possible cases of COVID-19, they are passing them to the second tent where they make the COVID test on them, and to be so if they have COVID, they will take all the measures them that they had to take, and or not, they carry them or they present them to the urgency area of the departmental hospital. Up to now, we don't have official data from the director of the head of the ESE, but during the day we will be attentive to all information that Hilary Rodriguez will want to present, or the Secretary of Health, Julian Davis. This is all information we present until now. Lisa, Sylvette Mitchell Archibald for Teleislas News.
Thank you, Sylvette. And taking into account the coronavirus situation, we make an assessment of the increase of COVID cases that occurred during the weekend in the department.
During this holiday weekend, the number of COVID-19 cases increased considerably in the department. On Saturday, there were 91 cases, Sunday 66, and Monday 75, leaving a total of 232 new cases reported in the national count issued by the Ministry of Health. This leaves a total of 4,621 COVID cases since the beginning of the pandemic. Now, analyzing the last report issued by the Departmental Health Secretary as of May 17, 275 of these cases are active and are divided as follows: 268 in San Andres and 7 in Old Providence. Likewise, it is worth mentioning that the number of people who have died from the virus has been increasing. To date, there have been 71 cases. 3 of these have been on the island of World Providence. The occupancy of the intensive care unit is currently at 82%, showing a considerable increase. For this reason, the local government follows the mandate of the last communique issued by the Ministry of Health, which mentioned that with this high percentage of occupation in the ICU, a curfew must be maintained from 8 o'clock at night.
And in other news, the commander of the police department gives a report of arrests that occurred over the weekend in different operations.
Con el apoyo de unidades del CTI.
With the support of units of the CTI and the prosecutor's office, it was possible to capture a total of 8 people solely and exclusively dedicated to micro-trafficking. This is important in addition to recognizing this valuable work that is to get rid of these people doing these type of practices. We managed to capture 20-year-old Samir Andres Mesa, from whom more than 140 grams of marijuana and more than 1 million pesos that were proceeds from the sale of these drugs were seized during the raid.
The commander mentioned that in raids in different parts of the island, they managed to capture 6 people for the same crime. Also, they highlight the capture of John Edison Ruiz Leal, alias Cabenagui, who was required for the crimes of extortion of traders on the island.
Todos sabemos que es un actor delincuencial.
We all know that he's a criminal actor of the Matlina Hills sector and who had been affecting public order and is captured for the crimes of aggravated extortion, conspiracy to commit crimes, and use of minors to carry out the crimes. That is to say, he is the one who at the time had been causing damages along with Jordan Pusey.
Working against illegal fishing and for the protection of some species in danger of extinction, the National Navy and Coralina seized more than 138 kilograms of carré turtle meat. Here is the information.
The illegal fishing came in a Nicaraguan boat named Cap Lloyd, which was entering the archipelago on May 15 with merchandise and other food, including hawksbill turtle meat, a species in danger of extinction.
We received a call from the National Navy and Coast Guard informing us about the capture of a Nicaraguan vessel that upon inspection they found turtle meat inside. Coralina, in coordination with the Coast Guard of the National Navy in support of the conservation of key species in the seafloor, supported in the seizure of 138.1 kilograms of hawksbill turtle meat. It is important to inform that the species is in danger of extinction.
In the same line, the seized fish was placed in the hands of Coralina and the boat was taken to the Coast Guard station. Likewise, the captain of the boat was placed in the hands of a competent authority.
And a young man who had been staying on the island illegally since 2018 was expelled yesterday from the department after having participated in an altercation in Cocal neighborhood and having been released by the authorities for not having sufficient evidentiary materials. However, he did not have a residence card and was therefore expelled from the island. The director of the OCCRE explained the situation.
Yesterday, the administrative management proceeded with the expulsion of a young man by the name of Samir Antonio Garcia Martinez, nicknamed as the Cartagenita, who was a resident in the Cocal neighborhood. This expulsion is important since this young man is part of the same group of friends or relatives who have been disturbing public order in the department. On the weekend, this person also had an altercation with some people in the Cocal neighborhood.
The official explained that previously another of the young men who had been committing crimes had been previously expelled from the archipelago for having assaulted a woman in the Cocal neighborhood, and that this residency status on the island was also undefined.
And now we continue with all the sport news of our department.
Hello, here are the best sports of the island. A group of athletes prepare on the beaches of Strathbite for future aquathlon and triathlon competitions.
Under the direction of Professor Rene Humphries and Professor Maritza Mojica, a group of athletes from different categories is preparing with discipline and dedication to face future aquathlon and triathlon competitions in the island archipelago. This is how Rene Humphries expresses it.
This discipline is hard because that three sports in a one. we need the help of the gobernación, where they can send data, psicólogos, and physiotherapists. And we need another help there because them a child of Strato 1, Strato 2, and we need help with them a child. We dey work hard, and you can see then the small pinini, or we can take out of the road, and we got to the practice and discipline.
Triathlon and aquathlon are sports that continue to grow in our insular department. However, Rene Humphreys emphasizes that a lot of help is needed for their growth and their participation at national level.
Athletes return to their volleyball trainings on the courts of Kahasai.
Volleyball, a sport that has been growing in our archipelago, has resumed its training in the courts of Kahasai. With the help of Coach Hasir Davis, the players began their preparation for future national competitions. We talked with Coach Hasir, who gave us more details.
We are preparing ourselves because the departmental league always has to participate in the children's category as a rule. Once they do not do it, they will be fined. So I am preparing the girls in view of this championship that will be held in December in the city of Kipdo. As for the men, right now in August we have a trip planned. God willing, hopefully it can come through as a result of the change with the sports director. We don't know what will happen, but God willing we will have a trip with the seniors. But we also have to look at the current situation of the strikes in the cities. I don't know what would happen, but we are still preparing ourselves for it.
The preparation of the players in both categories is done in advance with a view of a good performance in future national competitions.